Everybody, it's Nikki from Dutiful Dogs here. How are you? I hope you're having a great weekend. Thought I'd do a quick segment on socialization and what it involves because I've had several new clients this week who've all been told in one way, shape, or form or another, oh, you need to socialize your dog or your puppy, but they have absolutely no idea what that entails. So I thought we'd do a quick chat on that. So, socialization, what is it and what is it not? When getting a puppy or dog, many new owners are told by the breeder, their shelter, or their vet, make sure you socialise them. Very rarely are new owners told what socialisation actually is, what it consists of. For humans, the word socialise has very different connotations than it does in the canine world. We usually associate it with going out, meeting people, networking, and chatting. For dogs, socialisation is an entirely different thing altogether. A better name for it, and the word that I use with all my clients, is actually exposure. Breeders, shelters, and vets are all absolutely right. Exposure is very important, particularly during the early weeks of a pup's life. So, what should we be doing? As many of you know, I'm a former working dog trainer and handler for personal protection and scent detection dogs. The most important quality in the dogs that we bred, raised, and handled was stability. My personal feeling is that stability is the most valuable trait in any dog, not just a working dog. At the kennel, we achieved that stability through a combination of genetics, so our dogs came from highly stable working lines, and exposure. We exposed our dogs to everything from a very young age. So, as an owner, how do you do this? What should you be doing and what should you not be doing? Let's start with puppies because those are probably the most straightforward. For the 3-month period between 3 and 16 weeks of age, puppies go through what's called the critical socialization period. They soak up knowledge like sponges, and it's vital to take advantage of this because many, although not all dogs, go through 2 distinct fear periods as well. The first fear period is barely noticeable because it occurs at around 8 to 10 weeks, right when you should be exposing your pup to everything and building its confidence. The second fear period occurs at anywhere between 6 and 14 months of age, so you really want to get ahead of the curve on that one. You can begin exposing your puppy to various stimuli in the home environment long before their vaccinations are completed. Remember, dogs explore the world with their noses. After your pup has had a couple of days to settle into its new environment, involve them in everything. Tethering the pup to you is probably the best way to do it, but you can also use a tie back. The important thing is to keep the pup with you as much as is practicably possible, no matter what you're doing. What we want is for every sight, sound, and smell to become mere background noise to the dog. If they do startle or show mild fear, ignore it, carry on with your routine, and praise when they're calm or focused on you. You can also give a firm but gentle leave it if the pup is fussing. Correcting fear appropriately does not make a dog more fearful or break its trust bond with you, whatever people tell you. On the contrary, teaching a pup to be confident by showing them that you are in control and you are advocating for them is an essential part of the process of building a bomb-proof dog. Don't fuss or pet or otherwise try to reassure the pup, especially with baby talk, when it shows fear. Instead, show a cheerful, no-nonsense disposition that your student will pick up on. Remember, your dog is a mirror of you. If you don't react to things, neither will your dog. Once your pup's vaccinations are complete, you can start expanding on the exposure process. This is the important bit, so pay attention. If you live in the town or city or will be making regular visits to the city with your dog, exposure needs to include gradual introduction on a lead to busy streets and noisy environments. Start with side roads and build up to busy shopping areas. Your dog should be introduced to car noise, trucks, loud buses, shouting children and adults, skateboarders, cyclists, construction works, and road crossings. Always, always have them sit at the curb prior to crossing any road or street, no matter how small. Don't forget that people in wheelchairs, people with walking aids, and people in hats and sunglasses can look frightening to a dog. So account for that and just ignore it. For those living in more rural environments, introductions to farm animals and loud machinery are essential. we are looking for an awareness of, but no interaction with, other than perhaps a brief glance and a sniff, everything the dog encounters. Don't rush the process. Remember, your dog is going to take his or her cue from your behaviour. So don't startle at loud noises or overreact to things with a big exclamation. Treat everything as if it's meant to be, if it's perfectly normal. Even if there's a huge road accident just down the street, just carry on, because the dog is going to mirror what it sees in you. After 15 or 20 minutes, take them out of the environment, let them wind down and process everything. For a dog, all of these sounds and smells and sights, it's sensory overload. They're going to be exhausted. Try to get in a good 2 or 3 sessions of exposure every day till your dog is relaxed and ignoring everything on walks. It's best not to let people pet or fuss your dog, as this can cause excitement and jumping. If people ask, be honest and pleasant and just tell them it's not possible because the dog is in training. If they have a problem with it, it's not yours, it's theirs. The key to exposure is not to overwhelm the dog, irrespective of whether that's a puppy or an older animal. We want to keep the experience as pleasant as possible. Reward your dog for a nice heel position every few steps, and that keeps them focused on you and learning that good things happen when they do so. If your dog is becoming agitated by something, take them to a less stressful place and then gradually reintroduce that stressor. This is what's known as incremental stress, and it's what gives working dogs their stability. What socialization is not. So, exposure or socialization is not taking your puppy to Tractor Supply or other dog friendly outlets and letting them sniff, mouth, or even pick up and chew items, especially picking up and chewing items. Your dog should be close to your side and well mannered and just learning about his environment from the smells in it. He does not need to interact with those surroundings or the people in them. Exposure, above all things, is not having your dog say hello to people or dogs. Until you know your dog is calm and relaxed on or off leash, he should be being taught to ignore other people, just as he ignores sounds, smells, and things. Greetings with people should only be conducted when you have proofed your dog's sit or down stay, and this is the important bit. They can be petted, provided the petting is not going to cause them stress, without becoming overexcited or jumping. On-lead greetings between dogs are strongly discouraged. Personally, I don't permit them at all with my dogs. Dog sniffing that's a dog going face to face. Dogs going eyeball to eyeball is a challenge under any environment. So even with puppies, it can start off as play, just the sniffing. They get playful, one gets a little bit dominant with the other or starts humping the other, and before you know it, you've got a fight on your hands. A dog on lead is also, he's confined, he's got nowhere to go. So you're putting the stress levels up immediately. So don't have them greet. They don't need to say hello. They're not humans. So I hope this has given you a better idea of what you should and shouldn't be doing with your new puppy or dog. But do remember, if you're unsure, always consult a trainer. Training is not an option, it is an obligation. Have a great Sunday, folks.